We have enough regulations, rules, and laws. How can Oregon be an example to the U.S. Congress? Explaining revenue increases. Is it more important to grow the private sector or to increase government employment? What will you both do to reduce the deficit? What will we do about public employees' wages and benefits? Have you ever started or managed the operation and finances of a small to medium-sized business? So you should know those are the things that are wrestling around here. But in honor of the folks who are hosting us this evening, I think the most appropriate last question is, the student government at Oregon State University, ASOSU, as well as the Oregon Student Association, representing approximately 100,000 students, support Oregon University system restructuring via Senate Bill 242. When this bill makes it to the House, will you support students by voting yes?
Name a large audience.
We always support students. We're pretty clear on that one. I like the bill. I think there's some things, and I'll let Speaker Hanna directly speak to some of his concerns that I think could make it even better. So we're looking at that bill. It's one that a lot of people spend a lot of time getting it to where it is today. We recognize that we shouldn't treat universities like agencies in the government line by line and have to make all these decisions. They can do a lot of that themselves, and we want to make sure that kind of stuff happens. We want to make sure that they weren't going to increase tuitions and do other kind of stuff. We want to make sure there were sidebars. I think most of that is there, and I think we feel pretty good about the bill as it is. And I'll leave it at that. I think you will see us supporting it, and I just don't want to take the representatives.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Speaker Roblan. We've had a lot of conversation around Senate Bill 242. The primary bill itself is good, in my opinion. I shared early on with Speaker Roblan, with the Senate President, and with the Governor that I was less than satisfied with the appointment process of the boards. And you have to understand that beyond Senate Bill 242 is the other, what I call the Uber board, and that's kind of because the media called it that, but it's really the 0 to 20 investment board. And then below that, in Senate Bill 242, is what we call HEC, or the Higher Education Coordinating Council. And then there's the K to 12 board, and then the 0 or pre-K board. So there's 4 boards. You're going to reform all of education and change all this. Senate Bill 242 really had the direction and elements for assignment of each of those boards. They were 15-member boards, all assigned by the governor's office. And I asked that we would take a look at that we would diversify that board assignment. 9 members by the governor, 3 from the Senate President's office, and 3 from the Speaker's office. And further, that you had diversification by the 5 congressional districts in Oregon, so that you got some diversity of geography represented on the board. 2 business large, 2 business small, 2 students, and what that really did is it said they're not mutually exclusive in those categories. In other words, you could be from Congressional District 4 and be the large business person. You could be from Congressional District 1 and be the student. So it just provided a way to get diversity. When I then realized that this Senate bill only had the alignment for 1 of the boards, then I suggested that we have a conversation around all 4 boards makeup, and I think we're going to get there. The last piece on it simply is around the local board makeup. You really kind of have to take this to the community college level, but where you have local taxing authority, I think it's appropriate to have still local governing boards. And understand that you've got community colleges out there today who have bond measures that they're in the middle of, and if you convert it immediately to only these 4 boards without local board presentation or representation, you'd really have the commitments made prior for taxing authority by these other boards. I just don't think that's quite appropriate. I think we're going to get there, and otherwise I believe it's a good move for the OUS system. It gives them some autonomy. It gets them specifically autonomy when it comes to capital construction projects and other expenditure limitations they have to come and ask us for that really isn't necessary. They're professional business organizations on their own, and they don't need us to sign off on every little item. So I think there's a lot of good to it.
Well, thank you both very much. There's a series of thank yous that I'd like to offer, or I've been asked to offer. So So thanks to the Benton County Democrats and the Benton County Republicans, in particular Pat Malone and John Bell, to the OSU College Republicans and the OSU College Democrats, particularly David Del Moro and Mikkel Vandenberg. I think what people often don't see when events like this get put together, or any bills get written, passed, worked on, your emails get answered, the telephone gets answered, or the person that you're talking to on the other end of the line when you're maybe feeling a little angry yourself, are the incredible staff at the Oregon Legislature. If you see a legislative staffer, take a minute and smile and thank them for the extraordinarily hard work that they have done. And you have a chance to do that tonight with Ruth and Rosie, who are two of the finest that we have. And I really can't emphasize that enough. We all get to go to the forums and talk, but it is our staff that does the real work. Absolutely nothing would get done without them. And I would thank you both very much for coming to Corvallis. It is an incredible district. I'm so happy and honored to have you come and visit, and I hope you will both come back